King Arthur existed, fought for Wales, didn't die, but went to sleep, and will come back someday to fight for Wales again. But he was in the past, and he's in the future, but he can never be in the present. So it's that impossibility. So that, I wanted to bring that idea here to Northampton, to the States, and use it to talk about time and place, that we live in the same place as these people, but we don't live in the same time. We can't talk to them, but we can try. Trying to, that's the great thing about Hiraeth, the gulf between once and future, we try to fill it with all kinds of creative projects, with words, with images, and that's what this show is trying to do. So these people here are all from the Bridge Street Cemetery that's just up the road. And the oldest graves there are from 1650s, maybe, and then it goes up to the present day. These images are all from the 18th century. This one is the oldest, it's 1738. And now I think, wait a minute, that's 1713, and this is 1738. And the rest are sort of late 18th century, and they're all examples of stone carving that we don't see anymore. We as a people don't walk around cemeteries that much from the 18th century, and there are these beautiful, beautiful carvings that we never see. It's an art that flourished for a short time and died out, and it didn't influence any other art in the States, so it's on its own. It's like this one branch, and it just stops.
Is this a U.S. thing?
It came from Britain, where it was very contained and repetitive. The images were really repetitive. Here in the States, it just went nuts, and you get these amazing images. And it's all driven by symbolism and the need to explain the afterlife. So the early ones are kind of grim. They're the death's heads, where the emphasis is on death. This is it. This is the end. This one everybody thinks looks like the Day of the Dead imagery from Mexico and Central America. But as time goes on, they become more soul effigies, like this one, where the emphasis shifts from death to rebirth. But as it does, it also becomes more specific and grounded in the here and now, and you get more portraits of people. And the emphasis goes from the symbolic to, well, who is this? This is Abigail Lyman. I mean, this is an attempt to make it look like Abigail Lyman, who died in 1776. So again, the earlier ones are more concentrated on death, and these are concentrated on what life was and what rebirth will be. So what I wanted to do was also take this idea of the end, of stone carving, of being something really specific to a particular place, and move it and change it and make it more ethereal and achieve what they were trying to achieve, in a sense, of taking something like the body and turning it into the soul, making it move, making it light, freeing it in a way from stone. But I also had all these windows. A friend of mine bought a house in Hatfield and replaced the windows. So these are the basement windows, and the idea of looking through the glass, sort of them looking at us and us looking at them, I thought this would work well. And
they're shades.
Exactly. Thank you. Absolutely. And somebody else said they look like X-rays. And that's cool too. I like that idea. So what was I going to say? My idea originally was to print on the windows, which is, I've been printing on all kinds of stuff, printing on rocks and printing on leaves and whatever. But darn if the enlargers at UMass aren't too small for me to have put the windows underneath and gotten the image centered. So that just didn't work. So these are photocopied transparencies that are on the windows. I just used spray adhesive and then spent 2 hours squeegeeing out the bubbles for each one. But it worked, looked really good. And this is my favorite. Who is he? This is Benjamin Edwards from 1791. Just looks Romanesque to me. Looks really old. So the idea then, the interactive idea for the installation, was to not only take their images, but take their words. And I just lifted a lot of different sentences or phrases from the epitaphs in the cemetery. Why all this toil for triumphs of an hour? People like that one. Naked shall I? That's a silly one. There are a bunch of them. I go cheerfully is my very favorite. Sleep on, dear friend. Shot as he was hunting. That's a good one. And I also took lines of poetry and a few lines about stone carving. Go inside a stone, that would be my way. That's one of the lines of poetry. And then ask people to choose these and pick a window, stand behind it with wearing a white smock so that your chest becomes a canvas. And then hold your line of text underneath so that that, in a way, generates a conversation between you and them. Their words, our images, our photography. And in the end, I'm going to line them all up and put it together and create a graphic novel. We'll see where it leads. It's going to be kind of a serendipitous, found story. A found story. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that's it.